Welcome back to him. This is session 17, OCI Exadata options and architect high availability and disaster recovery solutions, DR solutions. So again, it will clear your lot of doubts with respect to cloud offerings. Objective is overview of Exadata, Exadata offering details in the OCI, RAC and DataGuard in OCI. So this is the agenda of the session. Oracle Exadata, what is it? This is part of engineered systems offering from Oracle. What exactly it means and what it offers? Actually, this refers to hardware and software pre-configured to give you best performance and highly available solutions. So pre-configured to run Oracle databases. Every component in Exadata is optimized to run with other components to give you best performance to run Oracle databases. Single vendor support for entire stack. That is the way you can define it and understand it. That means hardware and software. Single vendor will be supporting it. It is optimized to run OLTP workload, data warehouse workloads and mixed workloads. Exadata cloud offerings. Only with the enterprise edition extreme performance licensing. It is not possible for standard and not for enterprise. And this is what we were talking about, that extreme performance offer is. So look at this. When you select full rack, you will get 8 database servers, 12 storage cells. Half rack, that will have 4 database servers, 6 storage cells. Quarter rack, 2 database servers and 3 storage cells. And base system will have 2 database servers and 3 storage servers. So we have base system or quarter rack is one and the same thing. Half rack, full rack. On demand CPU scaling possible for all racks. Number of servers not possible on demand. Number of servers are predefined, that is 8, 4 or 2. So these are the different offerings for Exadata. On cloud, on premises, what is the difference? And that makes sense for maximum many of you that to understand what is the difference between these two. On cloud, only virtualized database servers are available. On premise, customer can choose to use the database server as bare metal or virtualized if you have on premise data center. On cloud, customer do not get access to the storage servers. On premise, customer manage, administer, configure and do everything related to the storage servers. On cloud, customer has to raise a service request to make configuration changes to the storage servers. Hardware is owned, managed and supported by Oracle. On premise, racks are elastic, customer can customize the number of servers. So this is the difference between cloud offering and on-premise offerings. X7 hardware I was talking about. What is X7 specifications? In the previous session I used the term X7. What does it mean? When you are using X7, it means you will have in full rack you will get 8 DB servers, in half 4 and quarter 2. Minimum enabled CPU cores, no nothing. Maximum, yes, 368, 184 and 92. Total RAM in database 4760 gigabytes and 2880, 1440. Number of storage servers 12, 6 and 3. Total raw flash storage 307.2 terabytes. Total uses disk storage is 424 terabytes. You notice that the total storage space and uses disk, because you know that logs are included in the total disk uses. Space for database home. In each database host 1 terabyte. Every rack will have 1 terabyte. Okay. When you are using X6 specifications, then what you have in X6? Number of compute servers 8, 4 and 2. Okay. When you are using minimum number of CPUs, here we have minimum 88, 44 and 22. Okay. And maximum enabled CPU cores 336, 168, 84. Total RAM, total size. So this is just data for you guys to go through in your luxury time. Hardware in Exadata on cloud. Every rack comes with InfiniBand switches. These switches provide storage to database server connectivity, interconnect networks for RAC. Additionally, each rack has power distribution unit PDU and management network switches. Database or compute servers. Each DB server has CPU, memory and local storage. The local storage is used for installing the hypervisor, that is domain 0 or DOM 0, and space for virtual machine, that is domain U or DOM U, that is disks. A customer can create as many databases as they want with multiple Oracle homes in the cluster. Customers can also create multiple clusters in a rack. Customers get SSH access only to the domain U, that is virtual machines Linux. User, not DOM 0, that is hypervisor. You will not get access to the hypervisor or domain 0 or virtual machine monitor. So we have a physical database server. If you see here, we have a physical database server, virtual machine, that is domain U, hypervisor is domain 0, and a customer get access to the virtual machine, not the hypervisor. Storage servers specifications. Please check your mic, team. Each storage server has 12 hard disks, 4 PCIs flash modules used for smart flash cache, InfiniBand connectivity with database servers, sell software to secret sauce for offerings work to storage servers, and customers do not have direct access to the storage servers. That is very clear restriction here. You don't have access to the storage servers directly. Considering a quarter rack. Considering a quarter rack, a customer get. Please check your mic, team. Kanchi, it is your mic creating problem. Considering a quarter rack, a customer get 2 database servers and 3 storage cells. The 2 database servers have hypervisor installed, and only SSH access to the virtual machine host in that hypervisor will be available to the customer. So what you have in the quarter rack: 2 database server, DB server 1, DB server 2, virtual machine domain user, that is DU, DOM U, and virtual machine. So you get access to these machines, and of course they are hosted on hypervisor domain U, domain 0 or DOM 0. You don't get access to that, and storage cells are there behind the servers, but user never get access to the storage cells. Exadata storage specifications. It uses ASM, automatic storage management, with high redundancy only. Data disk. We have here data disk group database files, recovery disk group flash recovery area, database file system disk, that is group OCR and voting disks, ACFS disk group Oracle database binaries, and sparse disk group for snapshot databases. Exadata storage specifications. Customers can choose whether to keep backups in FRA disk, that is fast recovery area disk groups, or not, and whether to create sparse disk groups or not. Accordingly, space is carved into disk groups. So you decide this based on your choice. You have a lot of choices here. Storage allocation. database backup on Exadata storage or create sparse disk. Storage allocation, database backup on Exadata storage or create sparse disk group also in addition. Percentage, storage allocation, database backup on Exadata storage. So you have different options available. You can choose the option best suited for your requirement. Software in Exadata. Database servers, you cannot choose. You have fixed, and which is Oracle Linux operating system. Oracle database and grid infrastructure software. The same software run on non-Exadata also. Storage servers, Oracle Linux based firmware, storage server software cell software on the top of that Linux machines. The secret sauce in Exadata. Scaling in Exadata. Scaling Exadata is possible in two ways. Option 1, within Exadata system storage and memory is fixed, but CPU can be increased. Scale up CPU cores on the database nodes. Option 2, across Exadata systems. So you can move from quarter to half, half to full racks, etc. This need migrating databases to the new hardware Exadata systems and more servers, that is storage and compute servers, more cores, more storage, more memory. Hardware availability, high availability and disaster recovery in OCI. HA and disaster recovery constructs in OCI, regions, availability domains and fault domains. We are already aware of these aspects to give you these features. We have been studying these so far. Provisioning using console, data guard within region, that is the option which you can provision while using console, that is data guard can be configured and provisioned, or RAC can be configured. You can also provision manually data guard across regions using on-premise and across the regions yourself and using on-premise. So all the options are available for high availability disaster recovery. Three options mainly, as I said. Within the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, using console you can do while provisioning your infrastructure in the console while provisioning it, or manually, so you can configure. So there are three possible options. You can choose the one which you think you're most comfortable with or as per the need. OCI framework for high availability and disaster recovery. You know that OCI is architected on a framework to help customer build, test and host applications that are highly available, fault tolerant and scalable. So therefore this feature is a feature of cloud rather than Oracle database. It is a feature of Oracle Cloud itself, and not only Oracle Cloud, every cloud offer this facility. Every cloud I have studied so far, they have multiple availability domains, data replication, data redundancy in order to give you the high availability. Regions, availability domains and fault domains we have discussed in detail, provide the framework for this purpose. Understanding these are very important for an OCI cloud architecture, which we have been doing so far. For now, assume no fault tolerance is available by default, because you know that when you select availability domain, in the advanced option you have to select the fault domain in regions or availability domains or fault domains. This is easy to start from the learner perspective. As you know, you as an administrator has to provision the fault tolerance as required by you. So therefore you have to provision, you have to select fault domain when you are provisioning the machines, and you notice that yes, it is true that we have to select our fault domain. Availability domain purpose. Fault in one availability domain may not affect other availability domains. Deploy highly available applications within a region using compute instances across availability domains. Such applications are highly available within a region. Even if an availability domain fails, they are available. Oracle provides a non-over provisioned network within an availability domain. So connectivity inside, we have already discussed this part. The connectivity is within availability domain, that is less than 100 microseconds latency and up to 2 multiplied by 25 gigabits per second channel. 2 means here 2 channels of 25 Gbps each to give you redundancy. Bandwidth depends on the shape of the computer, as we already know. Connectivity between availability domain within a region is less than 500 microsecond latency and high bandwidth and low latency. And we have discussed this already, because now it is being a repeat so that you emphasize on these topics. Yes, we know this part. Fault domain is a grouping of hardware within an availability domain. Each customer is provided 3 fault domain in each availability domain, which we have studied earlier. A fault in a hardware or maintenance of a particular hardware affect only that fault domain. It provides framework for fault tolerance within an availability domain, as we have been understanding it for past 3 days. Fault domain RAC protect against hardware failure within an availability domain, protect against planned maintenance outages, and fault tolerance within availability domain, service available in the availability domain. So that gives you the best option. So you have one availability domain, you have fault domains, and you have RAC cluster across 2 fault domains. So it gives you that fault tolerance within the availability domain itself. Similar settings can be done in the second availability domain. DB systems RAC only available as 2 nodes, VM database systems. Both nodes share the same block storage. You can specify different fault domains for each VM node in the RAC setup. Both nodes share the same block storage. That is important point. So you select the shape. You know that you have to select a 2.2 onward shape. You cannot select a 2.1 shape. So it starts from the shape 2.2 onward only. And that's why you remember the same screenshot, we selected the number of node counts. You can select node count 2. DB system RAC. So you select in advanced setup, you select the fault domain. So you select 2 fault domains. Oracle recommend that you select 2 fault domains option for your DB system nodes, because you are setting up 2 clusters, so you better to select 2 fault domains. Note that scan and VIP are from the VCN CIDR, which we have opted. So not resolvable over the public internet. If connecting to public IP, you need to configure client-side failover using VIP in the TNS names, not scan. So TNS names, you know, it is a characteristic. It is a file, TNS file name, TNS names.cfg file in your Oracle Home admin network to specify the connectivity to the server. That is mandatory. It is a kind of okay, TNS names. Let me compare it. Gives you a right answer. It is like your DNS server. The way DNS server resolve domain name to IP addresses, same functionality offered by TNS names. It offers the database host name with the given URL. So you have to specify the port number and the database host name to resolve to the database host name and the port number. That's how we configure TNS names. Fault domain in DataGuard. Fault domains DataGuard protect against hardware failure within an availability domain. Protect against planned maintenance outages. Fault tolerance within availability domain, service availability in availability domain. Within region, DataGuard is also possible, where you implement high availability with availability domains within a region. So fault tolerance within region, provision across availability domains. Look at this example here. We have one region, we have 2 different availability domains, and we configure DataGuard here across availability domains. Because here we see fault domain 1, fault domain 2, and we configure a standby in fault domain 1 of availability domain 2. This is the scenario. So within one availability domain can also be configured, like fault domain 1 primary, fault domain 2 standby. So you can configure this way within one region, within one availability domain, or across availability domain. So service available within the region. Within region RAC with a DataGuard, that's also possible. Implement high availability with availability domains in a region. Fault tolerance within region, provision across availability domain. Here we are talking about one availability domain, primary RAC cluster. We configure standby RAC cluster in second availability domain. The picture makes it louder, very loud and clear, that what we are configuring. Its service available within the region. Across region is also possible. Implement disaster recovery fault tolerance across regions. Keep in mind the regularity and latency impact because you are using bandwidth. So what connectivity you are using, it depends on that. So not supported in console has to be done manually for that purpose. So we have active site in region 1 primary database. You configure passive site in region 2 standby database. Even that is possible. So across region RAC with data guard is also a possible scenario. Implement disaster recovery fault tolerance across regions. Keep in mind again the same process here, regularity and latency impact, because you are using across the regions. Not supported in console, you have to do it manually. Across OCI and on-premise, that is also possible. All the scenarios are possible. We have active site, on-premise, primary database, passive site, region 1 in OCI. You can configure this also. Obviously here also we have to keep in mind the regularity, regulatory and latency impact. Not supported in the console, this also have to be done manually. And out of the box feature, that's the best thing, the summary. It is out of box feature means on a click it is available. Data guard can be enabled for a database within the same region, same availability domain or different availability domain in the same region. It is that simple. So go to the databases, select the databases, click on enable data guard, and that's how easy it is to configure the data guard by simple clicking of a button. And that's all for this session.